Hi, welcome to Media Unlocked. My name's Niel Kesterson. Last week it was lav microphones. This week it's boom microphones. Or they're also known as shotguns or directional microphones. Why choose a boom microphone over a lav microphone? We have a lav microphone right here. It's on the person. It's on the body. We talked last week how unnatural it sounds. Yes, we get close, so we get to eliminate a lot of background noise, but it doesn't sound natural. You don't put your ear up on someone's chest when you listen to them, at least most times. Now, a boom microphone is intended to be held, and I'll use this one as a demonstration, held out here. It's over top or just out of frame. Now, if I bring this up, it's probably out of frame now. And as you're setting a boom microphone up, the camera operator and the boom operator would communicate, and the camera operator would let them know when they don't see it in frame. So you want to try to get a boom microphone as close as you can. When a boom microphone is used, it sounds, like I said, more natural because you're at a distance, and an average talking distance between two people is about 5 feet. So a boom microphone 5 feet away actually sounds pretty good. The further you go away from the sound source, that is the person speaking, with a boom microphone, you hear more room ambience with it and more echo. So a boom microphone is designed to be used at a distance to try to eliminate any kind of ambient and background noise and echo. Unfortunately, there is no one boom microphone that does it all. That's why we have a number of microphones out here. I have a medium boom, I have a short, and I have a regular cardioid microphone right here. There is a longer boom that is available that is about twice as long as this. The general rule to use them is the larger space you're in, the larger microphone you want to have. So if you're outside and you have to be at a distance from the actor or narrator, choose a long microphone. It eliminates the sound of air, the sound of traffic, the sound of birds. It doesn't completely get rid of it, but it helps to boost the sound. If you're inside, you can also use one of these medium ones outdoors, by the way. This is a very, very good all-purpose microphone. If you're can only buy one, buy a medium shotgun, and it will serve most purposes. You can use these in smaller spaces. But if I were to be shooting close outside, let's say they're headshots, not full body shots, I would probably choose one of these microphones because I could get in closer and eliminate all the other outside sound, the wind, the birds. You can also use this inside on a sound stage. This would be a great choice. If you're doing interviews where someone's sitting down, this is a great microphone. It's a short shotgun or a super cardioid microphone. Don't worry, I'm going to just touch on what all those terms mean so that you can have a better understanding when I say it. This you have to bring in a lot closer. If I were to use this microphone the distance that I am from the camera right now, it wouldn't do very well. It would pick up more room noise. This is a regular cardioid microphone that you can choose to put over someone in a close interview as well. But it also does very, very well for two people. If you only have one overhead microphone to use and you have two people sitting here, or even three, you can put this in between them. So if one person is about right here and one is about right here, I would put this overhead over top of them, and it would kind of pick up in this pattern. Let's talk about what a pattern is. It's called a polar pattern. Okay, generally we have in microphones, we have an omnidirectional which picks up everywhere. It'll pick up behind and front on each side. We have a unidirectional, also known as cardioid, which that's what we're going to talk about today. And then the third one is bidirectional. Means it picks up in two different sides. This is a very specialized type of pickup pattern that you'll probably never ever need to use unless you want to get creative. The mic that I'm wearing today, the lav microphone, is an omnidirectional. Most lavs are omnidirectional. They actually become more directional when you place them on a body because most of the chest cavity is blocking a lot of the back sound. But they do pick up out in front. Boom microphones are unidirectional. Here are some different types of cardioid or unidirectional. Now the term cardioid comes from cardiac, heart-shaped. If you look at this, it's shaped like a heart. So you have a general wide pattern. You have a more narrow pattern, even getting more narrow and narrow. Now these teardrops are, when you get into a shotgun microphone, the longer and narrower pattern, unfortunately, they do pick up behind it as well, so you have to try to position them correctly. We'll talk about that today, how to do that. So, for instance, this medium shotgun that I have right here, this would have a pickup pattern very similar to this. It would shoot out in the front, and not very much on the sides, and a little bit in the back. The super cardioid I have has that same type of pattern. It is a little bit more spread out. Some of them have a pickup in the back, some of them don't. This particular one does not have a pattern in the back. That's why I love it. And then you have this microphone that has more of a wider pattern in front. Does not pick up in the back. This is the one that we would place in between two people. And a studio mic, such as to do voiceovers, would have this kind of pattern. When you do voiceovers, of course you want to have close sound with the person's voice, but you also want to pick up a little bit of the room to give it a little bit of character so it doesn't sound too dry, and that's why a lot of these studio microphones have this kind of pattern. Also, it allows the narrator to move around a little bit. Okay. We're going to talk about how to mount the microphone. I can certainly take a microphone like this and put it on a standard clip mount, but once I start hand holding it on a pole or on a mic stand, it really causes a lot of hand movement sound. It actually sounds like thunder or earthquake when they are not properly mounted. This is mounted in a shock mount. We have, similar to rubber bands, holding this. It's in a frame, a round frame. It sits on this. This actually slides inside here. I'll demonstrate that in a minute. But you have this freedom. It's like a shock absorber. And the cable itself kind of comes around and it fits in a little rubber area in here so that once it's mounted in this, you can even use this outside. This is a blimp. This is for when you have wind problems. But the mount is very, very important. And there's a couple other things here. If you'll see on the side, there's vents or air holes. Right in the very, very front, the sound travels down the tube. The receptor is down here. So it's directed all the way down. These air holes take the sound bouncing around in the room, and the other sounds that are hitting it from the side, such as we have an air conditioner running in the other room, we have maybe some light noise over there. If it's coming in on the sides, it will be rejected. Without getting into physics, they basically cancel each other out as they hit in one side, come over on the other side, twirl backwards basically. And what that leaves is only the sound coming through the front that is directed down. So these air holes, you have to be very careful. If I cover these up like this and only allow this to come through here, it becomes an omnidirectional microphone. Once I uncover them, it's a directional microphone. The other thing is try to keep these on the side facing the walls. So if I have this mounted like this, held like this, it's incorrect because these are up and down. I would have to turn the microphone in order to make sure the air holes are on the side. So be aware of that. When I mount a microphone on a shotgun, Boompole rather, I always make sure that the pins on the connector are facing in one direction. There is no up or down. I can turn this around and have it that way. It makes no difference. The air holes on the side are the key. This also has a switch on here that you're not going to pick it up on the detail here. One's a straight line and one is a line that kind of tilts down. It kind of looks like a mathematical equation. And what it is a roll-off. And I always switch the roll-off on. And the roll-off basically eliminates rumble, the extremely low bass frequencies. You're using a microphone to record voice. Voice is not going to go down in the very, very low rumble ranges. Maybe a few guys that are blessed with a really deep voice, but really rolling that off is going to eliminate any hand-holding problems. The time that I would ever not roll it off is if I'm using this to record sound effects and need that really, really low frequency, and I have the microphone locked down so that any hand movement or wind isn't going to affect it. But the least bit of breeze going across here is going to cause a problem. Let's talk about how to handle air problems. Some of these you probably see have a wind sock that goes over just basically a piece of foam. That's your first measure of protection against light wind. And believe me, there's light wind. If you're using this overhead of somebody and you're moving it back and forth like that, guess what? That's wind. You're cutting air with it. So you would have at the least a protection over this. The next level of protection is this. It's a looks like a big hot dog. It's a blimp, Zeppelin. You know, there's all kinds of names for these, but you can see how it looks like a Zeppelin. This simply slides in here. You lock it down, put this on the back, knowing which direction it is. Tighten this down so it doesn't fly off and get lost. This is a nice handle that has a grip here. And there you have a handheld shotgun. This would attach to a boom pole. On the bottom you have the mic cable that runs up here, so you would run your mic cable into the bottom here. I'll show you. By the way, this is the brand is Rode, R-O-D-E. They're Australian. They make very, very nice equipment. It's mid-range equipment. Some of their stuff is upper range. Very nice mid-range affordable stuff. With boom poles and blimps, the cheaper you go, the more problems you're going to have. They're going to fall apart really easy. So if you think you're saving money, I mean, you can go in the extreme upper range, and the blimps and boom poles are going to last longer. They're going to be built better, but no matter who's using them, they're going to fall apart eventually. These things don't last. If this were Hollywood and you're using these every day, you'd probably go through 1 or 2 a year. They just get beat up. Things get dropped on them. They sit in the back of a truck and are going over interstate highways and bumping. Things are going to happen. But these are really good value for the money. I highly suggest that you look into Rode. Now, in the back, I'm just going to plug in the microphone cable that is run down in through the boom pole out through the bottom. And I have a little nub, or a stubby, I think they call it, on the bottom. It has a rubber pad on the bottom so that when I'm resting, I can rest the boom pole on the floor or on a table in between takes, and I'm not jamming the microphone cable. Some boom poles have a microphone cable that plugs in the bottom, and you can't rest them. You have to lay them down, And this way I can keep it upright and keep the hot dog part of it up here safe away from laying down. Because when you lay something like this down, you've got weak points right here, and it tends to want to flex. You've got a weak point right here. So if this is just laying on the floor or on a table and someone accidentally sets something on it, the snap points are here and in here. Guess what? You got to get a new pole, or you got to get new parts for here. And they're not cheap once you start replacing parts on a monthly basis with these. It can run up more than the original cost of what you paid. So treat these with kid gloves. They are fragile. No matter what the cost, they are fragile.